All right, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases. It is Wednesday. That means we've got some day baseball. I think I know TB and I sort of battled it out, but I'm going to go to Bryan first because I think you had a pretty good night last night. So tell the folks how you did. Did you have the Knicks spread is what I want to know. And then kick us off with Blue Jays Yankees.
Yeah. I had the Knicks on the money line. So it was still very lucky. It was crazy.
Minus 200? You took a favorite, Bryan?
I took a favorite because of the situation with Cleveland with the lack of the rest and everything.
Wow.
And they did run out of gas, but oh Jesus. Harden was horrendous. I don't think anybody ever throws a game, but he was so bad in the fourth quarter, offensively and defensively. I don't know why he was still out there.
That guy hasn't played defense since he was 20 years old.
Yeah, I know. Nobody fears that beard defensively, I'll tell you that. But we swept the board.
ASU, man. Even at ASU, he didn't play defense.
I know. We swept the board overall, and we also won our free play, which was also happened to be our part of the parlay yesterday. I was worried when it was 5-1, and then they come back and they score all those runs. And Washington plus the half a run worked out well. We got the worst start of the year from the Ace for the mess.
Real quick, I mean, there were so many crazy things going on in Major League Baseball last night. You talked about the Nats. We had 3 or 4 walk-offs. I'm gonna go I'll let you kick it off still, but even the Yankees coming down to the last, another 1-run game. All late too. If you went to bed early last night, you missed some serious fireworks.
Yeah, definitely did. You want me to go into the first game then?
Yeah, Blue Jays Yankees. This is national TV tonight. MLB Network and Amazon Prime here in the U.S.
By the way, before we get into that, I don't know if we'll end up discussing the Atlanta-Miami game, but I always have fun with starting pitcher matchups. It's the junk sale matchup. My all-time favorite is the Brown Sheets matchup. But junk sale is fun. We're going to take a look at the Toronto Yankees game here. Yes, Savage against Schlittler. So two young guys that have really been awesome so far. Schlittler and the Yankees are about a 170 favorite with a total of 8 here. As good as Schlittler has been, I do have some concerns. Right now, the Yankees bullpen has been overloaded the last 4 days. They've had to use everybody. Bednar is throwing 3 the last 5 days. And once again, he's not a guy I trust. They gave him yesterday off, but Cruz is a guy I like. He's pitched 3 out of 5. So they've got their first 6 guys in the bullpen. They're key guys that have all thrown 3 out of the last 5, and they've all been, other than one, has been double-digit pitches. So their bullpen is pretty well shot here. So they need Schlittler to really pitch a good game, and he's done that all season long. He's been very good. The offense for the Yankees is a little bit slumping based on what they've done all season long, but still, they've got a talented offense. Toronto, Savage has been great, no doubt about it. He's ranked at 51 the last 14 days, 83rd overall in the season. But I like their bullpen a little bit more. Louis Varland had to throw 6 pitches yesterday, but that's the first time he's pitched in 3 days. Tyler Rogers is good. So they're all set. All the top 5 bullpen guys are all set. They should all be available here. So the second half of this game is clearly a situation in which I like Toronto. Either I play Toronto in the game. You can get him as upwards of 154 here, or I'm looking to play Toronto live if I can get something where the Yankees get a 1-run lead going into the 5th inning or something, or 6th inning. Maybe come back on Toronto at a pretty nice price here to get even better. But that's the way I'm looking at it. And it's exciting from a young pitching standpoint because we've got so many guys that have gotten hurt. And right now, both these guys are healthy. And as long as they're healthy, this should be a real pitch game here.
TB, let's get you in here. Cam Schlittler, your guy. I feel like you've cashed with him a bunch since he was called up last year. So how are you looking at this one today? Are you going to get involved with this Yankees pitcher?
Yeah, I have Schlittler in my top 3 of all Major League Baseball pitchers. However, I have a big red flag on him today because facing these Blue Jays, seems to be his Achilles heel. He's got a 438 average with a 939 OPS against these batters, and the sample size is pretty decent, 32 at-bats against. So I'm not going to back him today. Look, he could win, but that's enough for me to hold off on this one and bet something else. Savage has been great. It's got that funky delivery. Doesn't have a huge sample size against these guys, so I can't really make one way or the other out of this. But I can say that I have both bullpens performing mediocre. I have both lineups performing sub-mediocre, and 2 really good starting pitchers. So if it weren't for those numbers that Schlittler has against the Blue Jays in his past, I would think under in this one, especially after the big run production yesterday, 9 runs. I would think under, but I probably won't do it just because of a couple red flags there.
I'm gonna, I like my bold takes. I like to, come in and try to find something maybe before it's the popular thing. I think it's time to buy the Blue Jays. Okay. I'm going to explain why that I think right now, today, going forward. Now, is this like the home run spot? Am I going to have like a client play on the Blue Jays today? Probably not. But like right now is the time where I think you want to start looking at betting the Blue Jays and trying to do it in good spots going forward. If you go back to last month, we pointed out what a sort of tough spot the Blue Jays were in. Cody Ponce goes down, couple injuries, Barger, Kirk, like all of a sudden there's this laundry list of injuries and the Blue Jays are still getting priced as this top option. They actually did a better job than I expected, sort of battling to like stay like a couple games under 500. I think they sort of, for the most part, stayed 4 games under 500. They were 4 games under 500 until 2 days ago when they lost back-to-back 1-run games against the Yankees. I mean, I'm not really going to fault them for those 2 losses. 2 really good games, came up on the wrong side of a 1-run game against a really good Yankees team. But here's why I think you want to start looking at the Blue Jays as a team that you can bet now, because 1, the market has shifted a little bit. And I think, especially if they were to maybe not have success these next 2 days, it'll really shift. But there's definitely some value there. We talked about it yesterday. I thought there was a little value there, and there is today. Trey Savage is back, and he's clearly like back. Like he looks good. We had some questions with him coming out of rehab, being hurt. What was he going to look like? Didn't look great in his rehab starts. Well, he hasn't looked bad yet in 4 tries at the big league level. So I'm willing to say, last time out, his longest outing, I was worried a little bit about length, but he went 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. I think the guy looks pretty good. It's someone that the Blue Jays can now bank on every 5th day that they didn't have a month ago. And then you've got your Hendrick Penango gets called up, and I actually think he's the real deal. I was at his AAA debut. It was in Syracuse last year, the day he got called up. I've been following him for a while. He was the one I wanted to get a chance before Eloy Jimenez. They called up Eloy Jimenez. Well, the universe has corrected itself. He's up there now. I just think the Blue Jays show the signs of a team that is like ready to turn the corner. You have Penango in there. They're hitting him like 4th or 5th. And then, you still got that top of the order. Springer, Guerrero, Varsho. Like, it just feels like a team that could kind of explode. And then you look at the schedule after today. This is tough going to the Yankee Stadium, having to play these next 2 games. But after today, it's going to really free up. There's some wins there. So I like the Blue Jays today. I think there's value, but I'm telling you right now, that's a team you're going to want to look at.
Adam, you're muted.
I was good about that yesterday. And it's just such habit now that I go to click this little thing. It's like it's one of my little hyper tendencies that I've now picked up doing the show long enough.
Maybe Kelly's got some witchcraft avail on you.
Maybe Kelly's Kelly's next to you right now. We can't see her.
It's in your mind.
Like she's she's like programmed it so she can do it from her phone from Florida somehow. Yeah,
She's got an app.
Wouldn't be that surprised, to be honest. All right, let's go to Brian. Tori wants to make. Tori says, "I have no idea what to make of Bybee today. It looks like AJ Hinch is back on his BS of bullpen games. It looks like what we might get here for the Tigers." So, Brian, to you, Guardians, Tigers, do your Guardians keep it going today?
Yeah, I think Anderson's going to get the start here for Detroit, and we'll go from there. But I've talked about in the past how Bobby has done very well against divisional rivals. He hasn't had a win this year, but he hasn't pitched bad. He's probably the fourth most successful starter for the Guardians this year, but he hasn't been bad. They just haven't been scoring when he's on the mound. I did use Cleveland yesterday. That was a nice winner for us. And the bullpen, I talked about this. I just love this Cleveland back of the bullpen right now. They were tremendous yesterday, but they've been winning, and so they're not quite as available today as they were yesterday. But Detroit's not hitting well right now. There are a lot of questions in that dugout as to what's going on. But if I'm playing, I'm laying here with Bybee. They're about 120 favorite right now. It's as high 117 I could actually see a 110 out there. It won all the way up to 130 if you're looking at one of the places far away. But if Cleveland's in the 115 range, that would be the way I would go here. If you're taking a look at what's available right now from the bullpen, Cleveland did have their top three guys go yesterday, but they hadn't gone the 2 days prior. They just brought Sean Armstrong back. He didn't go last night. So I think the bullpen's in pretty good shape. And they've been hot as hell right now. You've got the Smith and Sabrowski are number 1 and 2 in Major League Baseball the last 2 weeks in pitching. They've been tremendous. And Colin Holderman, who I always liked, really has looked really good. He's up to 60th on the season on the last 14 days, 90th on the season. So he's pitching very well here. The problem with Cleveland is the offense. But as I mentioned, Jose Ramirez, even on a day that he didn't do much yesterday, he's still 4th over the last week, 8th on the season. Angel Ramirez, Martinez has been very good. They're hitting really well. And to be honest with you, Travis Bazzana, who I think is a terrible defensive player, offensively, you could tell this guy's got some talent. He's able to spray the ball around. He's a smart offensive player. If he gets to start playing some defense, he'd be very good. Detroit's a team right now that you've got to wonder if this is getting into their heads. Kenley Jansen and Finnegan haven't pitched the last 3 days, so they're in pretty good shape. Tyler Houghton looked really good yesterday. So they've got some guys in this bullpen, and now that they've got Vest back, they're going to be pretty good in that regard. But other than Riley Green, who's knocking the hell out of the ball, and he's either got a record or he's right up against a record for most times getting on base. He's been hot as hell. I don't remember what he did in his last at bat. I don't know if he got on base or what happened, but if he got on base, he's going for the record today. But this is a team in Detroit that I like. But right now, if I'm playing, I'm laying. The Guardians are playing with some confidence, and they're getting help all through the lineup, something Detroit is not doing.
Tokyo Brandon, the Tigers have now lost 7 of their last 8 games. It looks like AJ Hinch is doing the old take his matters into his own hands thing. We know he's liked to do the bullpen games in the past. This is our guy, Drew Anderson, former SSG Lander, that's going to be the bulk guy today for the Tigers. Might not start. So, it's again, Hinch will wait until probably the Guardians put out a lineup. He may throw someone ahead of him, but Drew Anderson last time out 4 innings against the Blue Jays. So I think you can handicap this game thinking that he's going to get the bulk of the innings.
Yeah. On my Twitter X, which you can see down there, I put out my outs projections, and I think I saw someone asking, I got Tanner Bybee projected at 17 outs, but I just checked his number at 17 and a half. I wouldn't bet his outs projection, maybe bet him to get a win here, or take the Tigers team total under, because I got the Tigers ranked 28th in MLB in hitting in current form. That's bad. And I got Cleveland ranked 7. I don't know why Cleveland's team total for the first 5 innings is 1.5. Seems low to me. So I would either do a Tigers under or a Cleveland over for the team totals. Both bullpens actually in decent shape. So if you're going to do a bullpen game, yeah, Detroit's you could have worse bullpens than Detroit's to do a bullpen game with. Let me just say that no team's ever made the World Series doing this bullpen jiggity jaggy BS. So yeah, have fun with it, but you're not going to win a championship doing that stuff.
Totally disagree.
Yeah,
We'll have to do this on the day of where we only got 1 or 2 games, and
if you don't have a good pitching staff, you're not going in.
But that's not the point of doing it.
Yeah, that has.
We'll leave it at that. We got too many other games to talk about. But
Yeah,
one day eventually.
I think the final, like, I'll throw out a final talking point here. I think this number is like penalizing Detroit a little bit for doing the bullpen game when I don't think it's the worst sort of use of their staff. I mean, if Drew Anderson, like for 4 innings, could the Guardians get to him? Maybe, but like the pitching actually sets up kind of nicely here for Detroit. I just like don't like what I've seen out of them of late. And I know like the one thing about the Guardians, and Brian, you can even like sort of hammer this point home. Like when they're playing well from a standpoint of like they're getting the extra base hit and they're running the bases well, and they see, they seem to get the timely hit, and then the bullpen is pitching well. They're not really like the team I want to go against. That whole guards ball thing really starts to creep in the way they built this team. And it's like, but here, I don't think the Tigers should necessarily be underdogs. I just don't know if I really have enough confidence to back them. I do think you're paying a little bit of a premium here for the Guardians.
That could be. And the line is going down as the day goes on. But I agree. There's other games to talk about here.
All right. There's other games to talk about.
Brian and I disagree about.
Yeah, that's right.
Bunting is another one.
Bunting's the other one. I've got all the information.
We'll get there someday. But we both win.
There's there's so many different ways to go about it. That's why the double play package is so good. You get 2 of the handicappers you see on the screen. We all think a little bit differently. That's why this show works, because if we all came in with the same opinions on everything, it wouldn't make for a very good show. But also it just goes to show you there's like so many different ways to approach things.
Right.
There's just TV's got his own numbers, and he's very confident in the numbers that he makes. I will try to, look at guys that I think that the market doesn't know about as well. And Brian's got his own way to do things as well. So go to Rolo here. I can talk about Thornton for the Mets, and we'll go to this game. He says, any plans to continue the under the radar segment? I'm not sure what we're doing with that. It wasn't really getting enough views. And hey, that's why you guys got to like, subscribe, comment, because if the things don't get enough views, WagerTalk's a media company. They're going to move on. That's why we need you in there. You guys do a great job. I will say our viewers of any of the shows I've ever been on are the best. Always in the comments. You guys like and subscribe every day. It helps the show tremendously, and we very much appreciate that. And the 3 of us try to get in to the comment section, jump in and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about there as well. So, let's go to Nats Mets. Can I say anything about Thornton? Well, see, not as much as I would like. And the reason for that is this is another scenario where he hasn't really been at AAA very long. And, the Mets, I don't know what the Mets are really going for here. But they've decided very early on that they're just going to go young. The Mets are basically like, hey, we're going to get all our prospects up, and we're going to see if any of these guys are really good, because we're like 6 games under 500. The season has been teetering on potentially going like into a really bad place. And so I just think that they're just like, let's see what we've got early. Let's not wait until August when we're sort of out of it to do it. Let's see what we've got in these guys early. You've seen AJ Ewing called up. You've seen Nick Morabito called up. And so Zach Thornton is I believe, and I just want to make sure, because I believe this is his MLB debut. It is, right? think this is going to be his debut. I just had to, because I know he's been in the minors for a couple of years. Yes. Sorry. I want to just double check that. This will be his major league debut. And yeah, he just got to AAA. So again, this is one of those things TV talks about, like a wild card. This is kind of a wild card right here. This dude got to AAA for 2 games. So I really haven't had a huge, there isn't like a huge sample on him. I don't think he's like a huge draft pick, but again, I'd have to go back and find where he was drafted. But the point is, it kind of reminds me of like a Cam Schlittler where he got called up very quickly. Now, Cam Schlittler has been awesome. So again, you really don't know. This is a guy 5th rounder out of Grand Canyon. He's a lefty, but man,
the
again, I just haven't seen enough of him. I want to kind of think. See, now I will give you Rolo. I will take a stand here. I could see the Nats having a hard time with him just because he's a lefty. They haven't seen him, and this lineup does not set up great against left-handed pitching. Brian, I'm going to go to you. Have you seen a worse played game than Nats Mets last night? It looked like a JV baseball game at times.
It did, and it could be Rallo, by the way. Yeah, Zach Thornton coming up. He's rated as their number 12 prospect this year. They drafted him in 2023 in the 5th round. He's 24 years old. And I don't know that much about him, to be totally honest with you. But that was what the outfielder that they brought up yesterday may have cost the Mets the game, give up the inside the park grand slam.
Oh, that I got to push back on that. It was Taylor.
Okay.
He made a great effort at that. And Taylor in center field just thought the ball was out of the ballpark. He didn't run after the ball. Yeah. I thought Nick Morabito played great. He caught a ball going into the stands.
All right. Okay. I only saw the highlight. I wasn't watching that game. But the Mets, I like what the Mets are doing, go with the younger guys. From a hitting standpoint, the top 4 guys are all in the top 100. 6 of those top 7 guys have been in the last 100, top 100 the last 7 days. So they're getting some hitting now, and I like what they've been doing. McLean he had bad numbers yesterday, and a couple of them were unearned, but it could have been so different. So keep that in mind. Next time he pitches, he was much better than what his numbers showed in that game. But yeah, I like what they're doing, and the Mets did not use only used one. Duarte went 28 pitches. That's the first time they've used him from calling him up on Monday. So they're pretty well set from a bullpen standpoint, so they can go farther in the bullpen. I don't really want much to do with Zach Littell here. He just has not pitched very well this year. I like the Washington offense, but I'm not a big Zach Littell fan. And as I mentioned, he'd pitched so long in a good pitcher's park in Tampa that going into Washington here is not a pretty thing. So in the total's telling you that. It's at 9.5 right now. I'm even seeing a 10 out there. So we're getting Thornton basically at about a 125 favorite with a total of 9.5. They're expecting some runs here. And I think that's going to happen again. So slight lean here with the Mets, but not enough to get involved.
TB, I've got one more thought about Thornton, but I'm going to save it after you tell me, would you go against Zach Littell? He's been near the bottom of your rankings at times.
So on my Twitter, again, I put out my pitcher rankings for today, my matchup rankings, and a little tribute to Pete Weber in my Twitter. But Zach Littell, I got him over. Not a good matchup for him here. He's almost a 900 OPS against these batters. Does not match up well. And I got the Mets hitting number 3 in MLB in current form. Nationals batting number 6. And I got both bullpens 20 or worse in current form. So everything points to an over. The problem is the team totals are 4.5. And if you add 4.5, I'm not a mathematician, but I think that's 9. And the game total is 9.5. So I would love an over here, but 9.5 too high for me. So I would take one of the team totals, maybe the Mets team total over 4.5, perhaps. Haven't done it yet.
I'm going to take the Mets for my parlay leg. Like Brian said, the bullpen's in decent shape. We do not know much about Zach Thornton, but I think he got a later start to the season, or no, maybe not. He's made 7 starts, 5 of them at Binghamton, 2 of them at Syracuse. Listen, numbers have been great in those games, but again, I would have liked to see him a little bit longer at AAA. But he's a lefty. The Nats don't stack up well against lefties. And I think the Mets I don't think they're going to leave him out there to, hang him out there to dry in his major league debut. I think if he gets in trouble, he'll probably come out and they'll lean on that bullpen. I just think their pitching sets up better. And then like you were saying, TB, the best point of all, these Mets hitters might just tee off on Littell. And that's the other thing to point out with the Mets. Like, I do think their lineup is starting to maybe turn a corner just a little bit. AJ Ewing got the day off yesterday, so you should see him back in there. That was just a sort of scheduled rest type thing for some of these younger guys. But I have to say, Nick Morabito played fine. He just that one play was unfortunate. He sold out, crashed into the wall, almost made a tremendous catch, and then Taylor in center field thought the ball went over the fence, so he didn't chase it. So then Morabito had to run all the way to center field and try to get the ball, and it was an inside the park home run. But he made 2 other really good catches, and I like the energy coming from the Mets, bringing up some of these younger guys. So I think the Mets are going to win this game. The Nationals, fortunate that McLean didn't have his best stuff, and fortunate for Brian and I because, Nationals was a 4% or +1.5 for me last night. Brian ended up getting there with the first 5, but I think it's going to be the Mets today. So, Brian, what am I looking at for a money line on the Mets?
Yeah, the Mets right now, I'm seeing anything from 120 to 130, and there's plenty of like 123s out there is probably a good number.
All right, we'll call it -125. That will be my leg of the parlay. Listen, we go off the chat, so I know that we've talked pretty much, I think, about all games that are tonight. The people are getting restless, Brian. I want to give them a day game. It looks like the one everyone wants to talk about is Orioles Rays. I got this one wrong yesterday. This was my parlay leg. This made my client card. And what do you know? The Rays won again. They just continue to find ways to do it. And I got to be honest, this might be the best matchup of the series for them. Can you just keep running it back with the Rays at this point, Bryan Leonard?
Do we know who's pitching for the Rays? Is it Shane Baz today?
Well, Baz is going to pitch for the Orioles.
I'm sorry, looking at the wrong.
Yeah,
looking at the wrong.
No,
team.
that's. I think that's a great place to start. Is the fact that Baz is going to pitch for the Orioles. He's looked lost, and who knows him better than the Rays?
Yeah, I'm not showing anything for the Rays on our website right now.
Looks like
I'll see if I can find it, but they may do like a.
It's Jesse Schultz, guys.
Is it?
Okay, so Schultz, it means they're going to probably put an opener in front of Schultz, or they'll let him start. But yeah,
and he hasn't been that bad. He's been the worst of the Toronto starters. Not 191 of the season's not good, but over the last 2 weeks at 103, he's starting to feel his role a little bit. I assume that was it, but without knowing, it's hard to talk about it. I will say that Tampa Bay continued to look good. And Yandy Diaz is the number 1 hitter in the last 7 days, but he got hurt yesterday. So we don't know if he's playing or not. He's my favorite player on this team. Obviously, they've got, Camaro's a great hitter, but they've got some pretty good guys on this team. But I really like Yandy Diaz. He hits the ball harder than just about anybody in baseball. If he ever gets that, where he gets that angle correctly, he could lead the league in home runs. He hits the ball that hard. But he's a 300 hitter. He's a very good player. And but they used Baker last night. They've used Baker 3 of the last 4 days. I don't think they'll go with him. He's been fantastic for them. Seymour's gone 2 of the last 3. Kelly gone 2 of the last 3. So we'll see how this works out for Tampa Bay. But yeah, Baltimore is still a team that I don't really trust. And obviously, I am not fully entrusting with Shane Baz. He's at 133 over the last 14 days, 161, 181, 161 on the season. Baltimore's Trevor Rogers got bombed again. Bradish pitched well. He's coming around, but even with him pitching well, they still didn't get that victory. So it's a tough situation when you only got one guy in the lineup right now from a pitching standpoint that's giving you length. So that leaves the Baltimore bullpen in a tough place here. So yeah, it's Tampa Bay or nothing for me. But without knowing their pitching situation, I'll wait later on in the day to try to figure that out.
TB, Shane Baz probably had his best start of the season last time out, made it 7 innings, 3 runs, but he was fortunate to get out of a couple of jams in that game. That was, of course, against the Nationals, a game we talked about a few days ago on the show. So my question to you, do you ride the Rays here, or do you think Baz maybe turned a corner in that last start?
So, yeah, guys, grab a double play. 2 of us 3 for 3 days, huge discount. Or if you only like one of us, 3 days is 30% off for any WagerTalk capper. So grab one of those specials and ride with us. We're all doing pretty well right now. So Tampa Bay is the hottest team in MLB. They have the better pitcher. They have the better bullpen. They have the better hitters. So the question, I have a red flag, though. It's really hard to sweep. What's this series right now? Is it 2-0? Yeah,
it's 2-0.
And it's really hard to sweep a team in MLB. I used to be a capper who just forgets what happened yesterday and just focus on this game, but you gotta ebb and flow with the teams. These guys are human beings, and I've kind of matured as a capper in my last 5 years. So I'm actually a little more situational this season than I have been in the past, and it's really hard to sweep. That's my red flag here with the Rays. But on my Twitter pitcher matchups, Schulten's leads the list. So would be hard to go against the Rays. I don't know if I'll go with them or not, but it would be hard to go against them. And Baz has been lost. He's 1-5, 1-4, not having a good season, and his whip is way up there. So yeah, not the ideal situation facing the team that's hitting number 1 in current form in MLB right now. So yeah, I would avoid the Orioles for sure here.
I like the Rays if they put their normal lineup out. That's like kind of like what Brian was saying. Now, I don't think they're going to give guys a day off because they have tomorrow off and they've got the Yankees coming up this weekend. Like they go to the Bronx to play the Yankees. So like, to me, like even as you're winning right now, I don't think the Rays can just like sort of not take this game super seriously because the road trip coming up for them is not easy. So you really don't want to lose what is a winnable game at home. So I would wait to see the lineup, but if Diaz and their normal lineups out there, it's kind of hard to not like the Rays in this particular game, in my opinion. Brian, we need to go to you. Where are you looking to go for the parlay? Give us a game.
Yeah, I'm going to go out west. It'll be a nighttime game. Looks to be the last game on the schedule. The Athletics and the Angels here. I was wrong about Aaron Savali. I believe I played him last time. He's been rejuvenated. He's pitching much better this year. Kachanowicz, right when I thought maybe he wasn't as bad as what I originally thought, he hasn't pitched well since. He's been very bad as of late. And we're getting the Athletics is slightly over a pick 'em here. I'm seeing anywhere from 117 to 125. A lot of 120s out there in this one. Savali against Kachanowicz. I'll take the Angels, or I'll fade the Angels here. From a hitting standpoint, other than Zach Neto, he hit that 2-run homer to win the game late a couple days ago. Nobody on this team is hitting in the top 150. The offense is really struggling right now, and they got a pitcher I want to go against in Kachanowicz. The bullpen is what it is for the Angels. They're not the greatest bullpen out there, but they are in pretty good shape to come in and pitch in this game. From the Athletics standpoint, they're hitting pretty well. They've got Nick Kurtz, their best player, is number 3 in baseball. Langleiter's starting to fade a little bit, but he's still 16th on the season. He's been very good, and they're getting some other guys that are hitting pretty well, other than Tyler Storstrom, who is ranked 336 for the last 7 days. He's the only one that's not really competitive from his hitting, and they actually gave him the day off yesterday. They faced the lefties, so maybe he'll come back with a fresher start here. But Savali is ranked 62nd the last 7 days in pitching at 96th overall on the season. He's been pretty good. They did use their top 5 guys in the bullpen yesterday, but 4 of those hadn't pitched in at least 3 days, some of them 4 days. So I'm not too worried about the Athletics bullpen. I like the way they're hitting. And right now, anytime, I came in the season and we had a show where we talked about which team would lead baseball in losses. And I said the Angels are the worst team in baseball. I believe they were 12-1. And right now they're pretty bad. And they haven't even got to the point where they'll be trading away pieces yet. So I'm pretty confident we're in contention to win that one. And there's no reason for me to change my mind on the Angels. I will take the Athletics, a team that is playing a lot better on the road than what I thought. And when you get young teams who play really good at home, and then when they start winning on the road, now that's a real confidence builder, and they have a lot of confidence right now. I like the A's in this game.
I like the A's in this game too. Tokyo Brandon, JT Ginn's probably somewhere punching air right now. They score 14 last night. He's over here taking a no-hitter in the 9th inning. He takes a loss the day before. But like Brian said, JT Ginn was the only one to pitch in that game for the A's on Monday. The day before that, they lost 10-1. So yeah, even with some guys just getting some work in yesterday, the bullpen is fresh here. And I'm with Brian. The A's are the better team. Are you going to make this a consensus thought here on the show? Brian says no. What do you think about A's Angels?
Well, the A's are better than the Angels at everything. I got the A's ranked 6th in hitting current form, where the Angels are 29th. Bullpen, I got the A's 15, and I got the Angels 26. And starting pitcher, Savali, I got him on a curve of 30 at 13, where I got the Angels Kachanowicz at 21. So yeah, the A's are better at everything. If you look at the pitcher matchups to the players they're going against today, actually Savali's been roughed up by these batters in his history, but not too terribly roughed up. His OPS with 84 at bats against is 773. So it's a little bit above the Mendoza line, but it's a lot better than Kachanowicz's. His is 1134. So I think we're going to see a lot of runs here. My first inkling, instead of a side, was to go with the Angels team total over, because I would think the books would slight them a little bit, but they have not, because both team totals are 4.5. So in that case, you might want to think about an Angels team total under, perhaps 4.5 seems a little high to me. So I'm not really sure how I've decided to go on this. The A's just smacked them yesterday. It's hard to do that 2 days in a row, but couldn't back the Angels here under any circumstance.
Go ahead, Brian. Do you have something to add there?
Yeah, just something quick. When I was shaking my head going, no, it's nothing against TB. It was that every time all three of us agree on a game, it goes down. And he didn't say he liked that side, so I think we still got a winner here. Yeah, I was a little
straight away. I merged.
What number are you looking at for A's? Sorry, I want to make sure
that's okay.
The market price.
As I say, I right now you can get anything from 118 to 126 in some faraway places. So a lot of 120s out there.
We'll call it minus 120. And listen, one thing about TB said, you made the point, like, hey, the Angels, they went off yesterday. This is the definition of a streaky team. And they're such a free swinging team where it's like everyone's good at putting the bat on the ball. And I really do think there's something to the A's. Like when they hit, I feel like it tends to be for a couple of days. And then when they don't hit, it looks really, really bad for a couple of days. Just go through their schedule. Like you'll find it's like they'll win 3, they'll lose 2 or 3. They'll win 3 or 4, they'll lose 2 or 3. So over the weekend, couldn't hit against the Giants. They come out Monday night, can't hit. They spoil JT Ginn masterclass. Last night, they break out for 14 runs. Wouldn't be that surprised if they kept it going today. It's just how it's gone for them. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I do want to point out, you've said in the past that the A's are a team that strike out a lot. But Kachanowicz is not a guy who strikes out the opposition. In fact, My notes show that he's going to go, 5.5 innings, something in that range, and he's going to have 3.5 strikeouts and 2.5 walks. That's not my main handicapping from a pitcher standpoint is strikeout minus walk ratio, the percentage, and you don't want a guy in that situation. Yes, they do strike out a lot. I don't think they strike out a lot against him. So that's something we normally have to worry about the A's. I don't think it's something we need to worry about tonight.
I want to revise that statement to say the A's swing the bat a lot. Yes. So I don't think they're like super like strikeout prone. I think I may have misspoke. Like I just didn't know I was misspeaking in the past. They swing the bat a ton. So they are going to strike out some. When you swing the bat when you swing at everything, you're going to strike out sometimes. Kochanowicz, bottom 10% in the league in strikeouts, and he's bottom 25% in hard hit, hard hit. So he does keep the ball on the ground, but he gives up a good amount of contact and a good amount of hard contact. And the A's have no problem hitting the ball on the ground. They're all like they're just trying to put the ball in play and get hits that way. So yeah, I think it could be a good matchup for the A's here, Brian. I think you're on a good side here. And now I want to see what side or total Tokyo Brandon's on to close out this parlay. Give us a game, TB.
Okay. I am going to go with let's see. Where was that game that I was going to go with here? I had one in mind. One moment.
While you're looking for your game, I'm going to remind people that it's Wednesday. The three of us have plays up on the site, and you can get two of us as part of the double play package. There's still this great 3-day special, really good all access special. Brian's still going to town in the NBA and NHL playoffs. So all access for the month should take you to about the end of the NBA NHL playoffs. I know they draw them out, I think, until mid to late June. So a month should get you that. So check out the site for specials. And now we'll see if TB has found his game.
Yes, I have. I'm going to back Chris Sale here. I'm going to take the Atlanta Braves in the first 5 on the money line. It's bad odds, but this is a parlay, so spare me. Let's see. You can find it anywhere between minus 198 and minus 210. So, yeah, Chris Sale's a stud. Junk is all right. He's not a bad pitcher, but I like the Braves here in the first 5.
Brian, thoughts on this game? This is your junk sale matchup that you wanted to talk about. And also after you give us your thoughts on this game, give me that first 5 money line that we can put in the parlay.
Yeah, the money line's anywhere from 190 to 210, but mostly in the 200 range right here. Yeah, Jans to junk. He's starting to fade a little bit. I had some confidence in him earlier in the season. He's been fading. Chris Sale's clearly the better pitcher here. Let's take a look at Miami versus lefties. They're 101 WRC plus against lefties, slightly better than what they are against righties. And by the way, the Athletics have a big edge. They're better against righties than the opposition was against lefties. So that's another reason for them. But there's a lot of games today in which either the wind is blowing in or they're expecting lower totals. All you have to do is look at the Cubs game at 6.5. So there's a lot of that going on today in that game. I don't have much to talk about. I don't usually play $2 favorites, although I did the Knicks yesterday and got extremely lucky in that regard. But I can't say anything to go against it at this point.
I mean, listen, it's not. This could win, and the way I'm looking at this could both win. I'll kind of go back to the point I made Monday. I do think it's probably time to start looking at spots like maybe playing against the Braves with some sort of regularity with where they got to. So Monday I had a 5% play at 1. Did not go back to it last night, and I'm glad I didn't because, of course, the Braves won that game. But I mean, you could listen. Like Drake Baldwin just hit the IL. You want to talk about a Braves team that's very much I don't want to like go as far as to say they've overachieved, because I think we all thought the Braves were going to be very good, but I do think that they've maybe like, I don't know that they could have played better to this point in the season with what players they had. Because of course they had, they did this in spite of some injuries, and now they're priced way up here, way at the top of the market. Acuna is back, but he's coming off of an injury, but he is back. I think you can count him as fully back. But Drake Baldwin's been one of their best hitters, and now you take him out of the lineup. I just think that these prices are like starting to get real inflated on the Braves. So again, I don't know if I'm going to take this as a client play, but you're talking about getting a run and a half with the Marlins at -110. They're at home. I think they, even yesterday, they played a pretty good game. Just didn't work out for them, but that was a close game for a while. And then they won the night before. I just kind of think the Braves are inflated. I hope for TB's sake, if I do take the Marlins, that Sale just shoves for 5 innings and then they implode late, because maybe we can both hit. But yeah, I'm actually looking at Marlins in this one with the run and a half.
Yeah, the drop off from Baldwin to Chadwick Tromp offensively
Massive.
is night and day.
Yeah, Chadwick Tromp should. I always thought he was just kind of an organizational depth guy for Gwinnett. So you can't really have him in a big league lineup. That's not good. But again, Chris Sale, might not matter with Sale, because when he's on, he's nasty. Mm-hmm. And the Marlins have been guilty of not showing up offensively at times. So it'll be an interesting one. That's Marlins Braves. That closes out our parlay. So
before you end the show, Adam, I'm sorry to jump in, but I have to stop. Go ahead. I need to stop this blasphemy in the chat. Ohtani is not overrated, so just stop.
And by the way, the manager did say he will be hitting today when he pitches.
Wow, interesting. But he's not overrated, guys. He's a unicorn. He's doing things no one's ever done. Yeah. When Judge strikes out 6 batters in a game, call me, and then we can have a discussion.
What's so amazing is, like, even with his hitting numbers down, because he's clearly focused on pitching right now.
Yeah.
If he were to focus on hitting for 2 weeks, he would fix whatever is the issue, or he would just polish that up, and he'd easily be the best hitter in the league again. I think it's like the Dodgers are such an embarrassment of riches right now that they can just dick around for 162 games, show up in October, and they'll still be the best team.
Yeah, they don't want him to just concentrate on being a pitcher, but he's earned that right, and the Dodgers know they're going to make the playoffs. So why is everybody freaking out about it? Come the playoffs, the Dodgers will be there, and
it's like having Tom Glavine and Ichiro rolled up into one player, guys. We've never seen this before, so just enjoy it.
He has an ERA and a WHIP under 1, and this is his side quest. There's other people that devote their life to just pitching, and they never get to this point in the year.
He's got the same kind of numbers as Mizorowski does. Mizorowski doesn't hit. So
that's what I'm saying.
We know how good Mizorowski has been.
He stole 50 bases the other year.
It's just crazy.
Now it has ever.
Guys, stop. Just stop. You're just looking foolish. Just stop.
The best player on planet Earth. It's not really close, and will probably go down as one of the best or the best to ever do it until someone else comes along that's better than him. Yeah. So yeah. I feel you there, TB.
Sorry, I had to do that. My apologies.
No, I listen. I thought it was justified in that case. I jumped right in with you. I thought that was justified.
Ohtani hasn't pitched a complete game, so he's not as good as Glavine. You guys stop.
If he wanted to, he would.
You're trying.
If he wanted to throw 9 innings, he would. The Dodgers are also not trying to have him end up on the IL. Yeah,
you're trying too hard. Just stop.
Yeah. I mean, again, we could do a whole show on stuff like that. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to do that, but we do have a nice 3-teamer locked in. I will comment. Someone in the comments in the parlay yesterday was like, the parlay is way down. That is false. I recap it at the end of every show. I also update where it is pretty much every show. And the parlay is plus 0.6 units. So it's actually very, very close to dead even. We've been doing this since the end of March, and we're still hanging around right around dead even. That's not bad.
Last year we won. So we've gone 1.25 years of giving out 3-team parlays. It's 6 a.m. in the morning here Pacific time, and we're up. That to me is amazing. I would never expected that. Anybody who's bet parlays know how hard it is to hit a parlay.
Yeah, last year finished up a little bit over 5 units on the year. We want to beat that again this year, so we're going to keep battling away. The 3-teamer for today, I'm going to go with the Mets on the money line. That's full game. Bryan Leonard's going with the A's on the money line. Mets minus 125 money line full game. A's minus 120 money line full game. Tokyo Brandon is going Braves first 5 money line minus 200. And that'll be our 3-teamer for today. Vincent says, how do I buy picks? They're all over at WagerTalk.com. www.wagertalk.com is where you can find the 3 of us. It's the only place you can buy the 3 of our picks. It's the only place we put them out. And the 3 of us will have stuff up for sale today. There's also some really good site-wide specials going on right now. So check that out. Let's have a day again today. And the 3 of us will be back tomorrow morning for more Total Bases. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.